I've asked Bruce Kim to be here with me today for the signing of this very, very important bill, and I'm delighted to see members of the legislature here who have as their responsibility protection of consumers. This is probably as distressing a situation as can happen to anyone, to be able to own a home, to commit yourself to what it takes in order to be able to deal with your mortgage responsibly, and to find yourself in difficulties, troubles for whatever set of reasons. I think all of us can relate to it either by way of aspiration. We would want to be able to own a home here in Hawaii, or relate to it in terms of the conditions or circumstances that we faced. I think I can't help but think of it personally. My wife and I saving money for 23 years. I remember we had it down cold 23 years to get the down payment, right? To get the down payment. And then having help from my mother-in-law, right, for it. And I remember the day we went in escrow, that we were in tears. I didn't expect I'd have that much emotion, a lot of things about it, but when we actually knew that we were going to have this home, I remember being in tears. And to think about the idea of someone taking advantage of someone else's tragedy and stress to defraud them is infuriating to me. It's hard for me to imagine what kind of human beings do that kind of thing. Well, they simply have no moral compass. And I know that the legislature has been recognized that in terms of possible criminal sanctions. But short of that capacity of the government to respond, we have 2275, mortgage rescue fraud. Bruce is going to explain a little bit more about it, but I think everyone can get the picture pretty clearly. If we cannot protect those who are suffering from the trauma of a distressed mortgage situation, protect them from people trying to take advantage of that, to defraud them, and in the process leave them even more bereft of an opportunity to get their economic and personal lives straightened out. If we can't do that, then we're not doing our duty as public officials. So this bill affirms the commitment that we have to, and I say we, I'm speaking of the legislature and the administration, protecting distressed homeowners from mortgage rescue scams. And Bruce, I'm going to ask you to perhaps explain the details as they evolve from the legislature. And then when we do the signing, I'm going to ask Justin and Angus and Roz to come up and be with us when we do it. Please.
Thank you, Governor. I want to really appreciate the Governor's efforts in this area. One of my first legislative sessions culminated in the enactment of Act 183 back in 2012, which made violations of our Mortgage Rescue Fraud Act a Class C felony, as well as imposing a mandatory $10,000 fine, with the Governor's recognition and the legislator's recognition that this type of conduct is just completely unacceptable in our state. I'd also like to thank our legislative partners who've worked on this issue for quite a while, having enacted the original Mortgage Rescue Fraud Act back in 2008. Senator Baker from Maui, Rep. McKelvey from Maui as well. The two consumer protection chairs in the legislature have worked tirelessly on this issue with OCP and others. Thank you very much. And Governor, the reason why we're here today is because, as reported in the press the other week, OCP has just concluded another case. This is probably the first one against out-of-state lawyers who are targeting Hawaii residents through local agents and associates to ask them to sign up with them, send their money away to the mainland, get no help whatsoever. And this particular bill grew out of that case. we knew we had to tighten up the language to make it crystal clear that out-of-state lawyers who are not licensed to practice law in Hawaii are not welcome here in Hawaii if they're going to come out here and sell our citizens and our distressed homeowners a bill of goods with respect to saving their house from foreclosure. And I also want to point out that it's illegal under both state and federal law for out-of-state lawyers who are not licensed to practice in the state of Hawaii to come out here and offer such services to our residents. The other part of this bill that's important is we increased or expanded the definition of distressed property consultants to include agents and associates of those type of lawyers who come out here and recruit people in our community, distressed homeowners in our communities, to sign up with these lawyers. Those people, the message today to them is that they're going to be treated as distressed property consultants. They could be subject to a fine from $500 to $10,000 under our Mortgage Rescue Fraud Act, and they could also be subject to a Class C felony with a mandatory $10,000 fine. And lastly, the message that I have today for our homeowners is that there's help available for you today. I see in the audience a number of our representatives from our nonprofit community who are credit counselors here, HUD-certified counselors who are in the trenches day in and day out trying to get help to our distressed homeowners. And I want to let the people of Hawaii know, the homeowners who are possibly facing foreclosure, that there's help available to them through a HUD-certified counselor and these nonprofit agencies who would basically give them legitimate counseling services. And the earlier they get to them, the more likely they're going to be able to get help in terms of saving their home from foreclosure. So we thank you again, Governor, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we want to make sure, as we take up the signing of the bill, Roz and Angus and Justin, come up, please. We want to make sure it's understood crystal clear across the state that if you attempt to take advantage of people who are having difficulties with their mortgage, we will prosecute you. And we'll prosecute you to the full extent of the law. If you associate yourself with people who are trying to take advantage of people in tough mortgage situations, we'll prosecute you. We will take the full advantage of the law to punish you. And we want to indicate to anybody who may be facing difficulties with their mortgage, we have help available. You contact us. Contact us, and we will make sure that you are counseled, that you will get the advice that will give you the best possible way to proceed with dealing with your difficulties. So, the title of this bill is relating to mortgage rescue fraud. We are seeing to it that those who have mortgage difficulties in this state are going to have the best possible opportunity to get good advice and counsel, and we're going to see to it that those who try to take advantage of those folks are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Done. And I know that, don't leave just yet, because I'm going to turn this around
Oh, yes, you
and
can
move
take your time.
move that out of the way. We can take some pictures and so on. And I wonder whether Roz and Angus and Justin, if you'd like to say a word or two in conjunction with the legislative side.
Sure.
Roz?
You know, Governor, this has been one of the areas that the legislature's had a real partnership with, not only you, but with our partners at DCCA. Bruce and KLE and the RICO folks have really been there when we were trying to craft legislation. You know, we had a mortgage foreclosure task force that set some of the parameters, and we've wanted to make sure that people had the information. The website at DCCA is really terrific, and oddly enough, I have gotten repeated calls from a call center, some of it coming out of Palmdale, Arizona, some of it coming out of California. And of course, I don't take those calls, but they leave a message. And it says, you know, if you're concerned about your mortgage, if you're having any trouble, call this number and we'll help you out. And unfortunately, I tried to call one back, but it says, your offer has expired. So obviously, they don't want to take any callbacks. But we know that this kind of stuff is out there, and I'm just delighted that the legislature was able to act on this administration measure and provide some relief by making sure that we go after people who are trying to prey on our citizens.
Thank you, Ross.
Yes, I have to really underscore that one. You know, in Hawaii, we are the aloha state. We have a reputation for aloha, but unfortunately, a lot of out-of-state actors, bad ones, see that as an invitation that they can somehow come into Hawaii and take advantage of our citizens. So acts like this are extremely important to give people like Bruce the tools they need to go after these actors who are out of state, who are coming into Hawaii and trying to prey on the unfortunate situation of many of our family, particularly our kapuna. And Governor Bruce, this is an important measure, and thank you, but one of many which will be needed to ensure that the message to the mainland and others out there that we are the aloha state, but don't come in and cause troubles.
Justin?
Well, also, I'd like to thank the governor and the two CPC chairs. You know, I obviously wasn't involved in the front end of this. I'm a new addition to the legislature, but this piece of legislation is crucially important, and we need to separate the good from the bad, how you can get help, and what direction we need to stay away from. So I'm just grateful to be a part of this process, and thank you again for
Very good.
your efforts.
Well, let's take a couple of holy pictures then. With,
Move
Bruce?
this out of the way, put it down there, so it's not in the picture. Put that over there.
One, two, and three, one more. One, two, and three, one more.
Very good.
Thanks, Governor.
Thanks, everybody. I know you and here helped put this together, and we're very, very grateful. Anybody else want to get pictures taken with us?
Can I have my mortgage rescue fraud